Welcome to the Commons. I'm Peter Klekamp, and I am honored to serve as the head of school of Holy Comforter Episcopal School. Today, I am joined by our chair of the Board of Trustees, Brett Ewing. What we're doing is we're simply having conversations about our school, where it is today and where we hope to take it into the future. First and foremost, Brett, thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Peter. I'm honored to be here, and I'm excited about talking about all the wonderful happenings going on with Holy Comforter Episcopal School. And also, I'm excited to share some valuable insights with the school community.
Fantastic. It's an exciting time. We are in an incredible space, which I know that our school community is going to learn a lot about in the coming days and weeks. But let me go back a little bit. What brought the Ewing family to Holy Comforter?
Peter, what brought the Ewing family to Holy Comforter? I would have to attribute that to my beautiful wife, Courtney. She attended Holy Comforter in elementary school back on the old Miccosukee campus, and without a doubt, from day one, she knew that we were going to be sending our children here. I really didn't have much of a say-so in the matter, to be honest with you.
I understand. She makes all the big decisions.
You got it.
Well, what brought me to Holy Comforter, I started out many, many years ago, 25 years ago, as a teacher at a private independent school in Atlanta. 3 schools later, my wife and I, were looking for a school that I could potentially become a head of school, but also be the father of 3 children that were going to attend a faith-based, high academic performing school. And fortunately for the Klekamp family, it worked out well for us. Finishing my 9th year, I feel still like the new guy, but again, Tallahassee and the Holy Comforter School community has really embraced us.
Absolutely.
So Brett, you mentioned how the Ewing family came. Why don't you give us a little bit of information about your 3 girls?
Sure. We have 3 daughters, Sydney, Morgan, and Sophie. Both Sydney and Morgan have already graduated Holy Comforter. In fact, Sydney's at Auburn University right now. Morgan's over at JP2, and Sophie's a 7th grader here, thriving, playing 3 sports, soccer, tennis, and volleyball.
Fantastic. Well, as a father of 3 myself, my oldest son Connor's in his 2nd year at FSU. My son John Henry is a junior, hard to believe, at Leon. And then my daughter, the baby of the family, is going to be graduating Holy Comforter this year, which is going to be bittersweet. So Brett, how long have you been involved at Holy Comforter, and what kind of prompted you, or how did you start getting really involved with Holy Comforter?
Peter, I started getting involved in Holy Comforter really the day I stood on campus 13 years ago. So I was doing the math on that. I've been a part of Holy Comforter family now for 27% of my lifetime. It's kind of crazy, but I've enjoyed every minute of it. It's very fulfilling. And I remember probably about 6 or 7 years ago, former treasurer Katie Proctor had asked me to do a special project for her dealing with one of their investments. Right. and doing a little research for them. And that's really how I got involved in working with the Board of Trustees. Coming out of that, I ended up holding the role as treasurer of the Board of Trustees. And I'll tell you, that was really enlightening, Peter, as to how your budget works and the operations going on here at the school. I think one of the things that is important for maybe some of the younger parents to learn about Holy Comforter is really tuition doesn't build all these great buildings. No. You know, capital campaigns, that's what builds buildings.
Right. Yeah, tuition, it allows us to do a lot of great things, but we even rely on special events. Our gala, our golf tournament, we have special events so that we can continue to raise money, but then also equally as important is our Crusader Fund. And the way that we look at our Crusader Fund is, here's an opportunity to raise money to go directly into the classroom so that our teachers can make a huge impact in the lives of children, so that they can make it bigger and better, and so that children get to truly benefit from it.
Peter, I remember at a gala one year you raised money and we did the outdoor chapel. Mm-hmm. I remember one year we built out the media center. Mm-hmm. So all those extra fundraising things, they do add up, and it allows the school to keep growing and enhancing it as we move forward in time.
You know, over the years I've had the opportunity to work with my predecessor, Dr. Barbara Hodges. And she has shared with both you and I about how Holy Comforter is truly a miracle. That in times back in the day, they never thought that this school would even survive. And it took a bold group of people to say, hey, we need to continue this mission. And they purchased the land here on Miccosukee and Fleischman. And they had a vision. And thankfully for their hard work, we're able to carry out that vision. When it comes to fundraising, before my time, there was Dr. Barbara Hodges and all those folks that kind of wrote the different chapters of the history of our school. And this is an opportunity for us to kind of continue the story. So we're a part of this chapter. And no one would have ever envisioned this beautiful space that we're currently sitting in many years ago.
Well, Peter, like I said, I stepped on campus back in 2005. I did the tour of the campus.
Right.
Because we were thinking about sending Sydney here. And I will tell you, she started fall of 2006. And when she started school here, there was not a student center.
Wow.
There was definitely not a STEM center.
Sure.
And there certainly wasn't a commons.
Right.
So I've seen a lot of changes over the years. The one thing that makes me think about, though, when we think about all the different changes, is the sacrifice, the selfless sacrifice that so many parents made to get us to where we are today. Right. Because I know some of the parents that donated to the Student Center. I'm still friends with them today. I know a lot of them that help with the STEM Center. I know a lot of them that are involved in this. And I know there's countless parents right now that donated to that Student Center, and I know their kids never bounced a ball in that Student Center.
True.
And I know their kids never took a science class in the STEM Center, and I know their kids will likely never perform on this stage.
Right.
But they did it because it's important to pay it forward.
Right.
And that's what this community at this school is all about. Yeah. It's about understanding that this school is bigger than just our kids here.
Right.
It's about the community and what this school will do for future generations.
Right.
Capital campaigns put these buildings here.
Right.
And we have to have a very successful Capital Campaign 5. And that Capital Campaign 5 is not only addressing the commons, it's addressing the fields out there.
Right.
Because we're undergoing a major renovation of our sports athletic fields. We're also having the 8th grade drop-off put in, which is a very important. I can tell you that many moms are excited about that one. But it's important for people to understand that, you know, when I served as treasurer, we could go back and look at the days when we were interviewing the banks to get the financing for a project like this. One of the most important questions they asked me was, show me your last capital campaigns.
Right.
Show me the participation rate you had with parents. Show me the average contribution. And I think the bank really wanted to look at that first because it gives them a sense of how strong your community here at the school is. And that's one of the big important things that I think that we have to get out there and talk to parents so they understand no matter what dollar amount they can contribute at, it's important that we have the numbers.
Right.
Because there will never be a high school built here if we can't have a successful Capital Campaign 5. One of the things that, Peter, a lot of people don't understand is that we do have a master plan for this campus.
Right.
And this project's very important because it was one that finishes out that phase, the Colonnade phase here before we could move on to other parts of the school.
Right, because programmatically this does complete our pre-K-8 program. When you get to one of our strategic goals several years ago was to enhance our fine arts program. And for our children to be able to be up on stage and to create a space where this becomes a theater is just going to be so impactful on the lives of our children. Also coming together as a community each and every day by sitting together and breaking bread. We're incredibly excited about that. And then also kind of lessening the pressure that we've had on the Student Center for so many years. As we all know, one of the greatest things during the springtime are musicals, but that's a time that we pray for no rain because of the stage being set up in our gym.
Right, absolutely.
In addition to not only the theater space here in the Commons, but we are going to be working side by side, hand in hand with Flick Dining. Down the road, we cannot wait to get our hands dirty with a community garden where kids are going to understand that food is grown and not coming out of a plastic bag. But Flick has been phenomenal, wanting to become a part of our school community, exposing kids to a lot of healthy food options and expanding their palate, if you will. Now, from the board perspective, how do you think that this building really is in line with the mission of the school?
Well, I think it's in line with the mission of the school because it is completing one of our master plan. And, you know, the role of the board of trustees is really long-term planning. And so we're always thinking 5-10 years down the road. And this is one of the buildings that we must have on campus in order to really go into the next phase. We need a cafeteria, and we definitely need a performing arts center.
That's true. I think in a very short time, I think a lot of people are going to ask the question, how did we ever do it without it?
I think you're right. I've said this to you before, Peter. I think the uses of this particular facility and how it's going to impact Holy Comforter in the future, I think we're only scratching the surface of the possibilities.
I couldn't agree with you more. Well, we greatly appreciate you taking the time to listen to the conversations between Brett and Peter, and we will welcome you back as we continue our conversations offering insight to current and future plans for Holy Comforter Episcopal School.